Then he was thinking, I'm going to do.
Well, there's a market here. There's some heavy money here. What we're doing is we're on a tour. We're going from California to New York on the lower states, and then from New York to California on the upper states, going to some of your major cities, in which we're going to the media and showing them, promoting the car, and going to the dealers and showing them what we have to offer.
The teams negotiated all through the night, and which indicates to me that there was some movement on both sides, and I think we're closer to an agreement now than we were 24 hours ago. It could be another all-night session. Now, we're going to stay there until we feel like we've got a contract that the teachers in Oklahoma City will be happy with.
Okay, Dale. How many teachers?
There are 2,400 teachers.
Great music, great lyrics, great words, great show.
He's the boss, right?
Line 3 and line 1. You know your number. If you need a number, gentleman over by the telephone booth will give you a number.
Bruce Springsteen is the hottest ticket in town, even if that town happens to be a couple of hundred miles from his nearest concert. This morning, hundreds of people lined up at the Lloyd Noble Center to get a chance to see the boss in Dallas next month. Only 2,000 tickets were available. They were gone in less than 2 hours. And if you want to know why, it's because Springsteen is saying things Americans want to hear.
His music is real. His music is about the people of the United States. He's really a born American boy. He really is. He cares about the people everywhere.
And you don't have to be young to want a ticket.
I'm not as old as I look. No. Surprise you, I just age rapidly.
By the time the ticket windows opened at 9, most of the available tickets had been pledged. 4 to a customer at $19 apiece, and nobody was complaining about the price. Chances are by concert day, the tickets will be worth 2 or 3 times their face value. But few here were interested in scalping. $19 in a 4-hour drive is apparently not too much to pay to see an American original. Jeff Fowler, News 4.
Tame no girl, make her be mad.
For one weekend each year, Oklahoma's prison convicts become cowboys.
It's this little practice here, a little warm-up. Tomorrow we're all gonna ride good.
Hey, cowboy!
The Oklahoma State Penitentiary Rodeo provides entertainment for fans. It also provides a chance for a money payday for men who count their wealth in cigarettes.
We like to show the people on the outside and all the people that come see us that we are just regular people, and we're just like them. We just want to come home and have a good time.
A few of these convict cowboys are former professional rodeo riders. Most haven't ever straddled anything more dangerous than a bar stool.
Now, as far as urban cowboy, I done been that all my life, you know. I done been at the fair and thing, I done rode plenty of mechanical bulls, and I figured they ain't too much no different. Just got her on them, that's about it.
The prison rodeo is something the convicts look forward to. 8 seconds is suddenly important to men who measure their lives in years.
If you want to see a rider, you need to see this one, right here.
Their brief ride can end in glory or pain.
Step right across.
Inmate injuries and poor ticket sales in past years have made some corrections officials wonder if the prison rodeo is worth it. The convicts would tell you it is.
You bet. I'll ride him tomorrow. We'll see him again tomorrow.
Scott Wallace, News 4 at the State Penitentiary in McAllister.
Music of the day, country, provided by the popular Charlie McLean. And uniform of the day, shorts, t-shirts, and tennis shoes, and other items, all necessary apparel to beat the 100-degree heat on these last days of the summer vacation, as thousands of people turned out for the 7th Annual Arts Festival, Oklahoma.
I was told that was whalebone. I don't know.
It provided them with an opportunity to see nearly 150 arts and crafts exhibits and a final afternoon away from home before schools resume.
We haven't really done much this summer, you know, been working a lot, so.
It went by so quick.
Last days of summer?
Oh yeah, maybe the last nice weekend.
This is a preliminary play. It's modeled in plastiline, and it'll later be a wood carving.
For the exhibitors, like part-time sculptor Clifton Snyder of South Coffeyville, it's an opportunity to market the products of their labors. Snyder does his clay studies at the festivals to give viewers a chance to see just how much time and work goes into his wood creations.
That's really a fascination to a lot of people. They really can't perceive it as how you can do it, and sometimes I fool myself. But it is a lot of fun. They really enjoy it.
You want part of my taco?
Of course, there's plenty of food on hand for hungry art fans, and something for just about everyone to see. Plus a chance just to take it easy. Storm Smith, News 4.
IBEW. Anybody from IBEW?
It may have been a day away from labor, but labor issues were being served up right along with the hot dogs and hamburgers. Workers and their families from nearly a dozen different unions gathered in Midwest City for a day of fun. But it was also a chance to talk about the #1 evil among union members, a right-to-work law in Oklahoma. The issue died in the last legislative session, but union officials know it is not forgotten.
That's our big thing right now. I was worrying about the next session, letting the people know what so-called right to work really is. It's not what it's professed to be. And that's the main purpose of the rally, I suppose, is to get labor together for recreation and also let the public know that we're opposed to a so-called right to work law.
And they got some support against right to work from several members of the legislature.
If you want an economic development program that we all need and we all want to get this economy moving, you better drop that divisive right to work issue and get back to nuts and bolts issues, because right to work won't bring us jobs.
But getting more jobs and keeping the ones they have is also an issue here. Since last Labor Day, a number of large Oklahoma companies have either shut their doors or laid off workers. But if the question is, will right to work remedy those problems, the answer from here was a resounding no. Jeff Fowler, News 4, Midwest City.
So there will be a need for revenue in the range of $800,000 to, if we pay off all of the old operating debt and operate in the next 6 months.
It's a new year at OU. The campus is peaceful as students scurry off to class. But one university official has other thoughts on his mind. He's worried about the school's investments with American companies that have dealings in riot-torn South Africa.
As they review their investment policies, that they would give consideration to divestment and companies doing business in South Africa.
Why ask for that?
In the interest of human rights.
According to OU Trust Officer Ron Burton, the Board of Regents has $606,000 invested in the following 12 companies. Burton believes the university should make its investments on sound business sense, not for political reasons. Interim President Dr. Martin Jiske says the Board of Regents will have to take a long, hard look at its business dealings.
I'm certain this is something we'll be studying. I'm certain this is something the students will call to the attention of the institution and to the regents, and we'll be coming back to this question again. It is a very difficult question.
Students' opinions on the matter vary.
I think maybe for business it would be all right, but for a university which represents education and broadening of the mind sort of thing, I don't think it's right.
If it benefits the students here, investments usually do, they gain money for the university, then I feel they should keep them there.
The OU Foundation, which is a separate entity from the university, also has stock with American companies doing business in South Africa. OU officials say the foundation will keep its $2.28 million right where it is. Ann Nyberg, News 4.
Didn't hurt us.
I was surprised. She cried just a little bit.
I only cried 4 times altogether.
So now we go back home and we wait.
How do you feel about it?
Well, it's better to find out now that it's not right than when they get her into the operating room.
Extraordinarily successful men. International who's who, man of center. So John and Eleanor Kirkpatrick, if you would step forward, it is only fitting that you would accept this on behalf of all. Instructions from, he gave us the Sylvan Golden Blood Donor Center, most of us even know exists. A member of the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, he's listed in
Jane Berryman's job is to formulate statements to the media on behalf of the City-County Health Department. She claims the assault was sparked by this October 30th release. She had written a news statement concerning the possible spread of infectious hepatitis from this fast food restaurant in South Oklahoma City. Berryman claims that something about that release didn't sit well with her boss. They allegedly argued, and that's when she claims George Delaportis became violent.
He was still yelling, "Get out of my office," and he began to shut the door on her. And the first slam evidently hit her upper, her forehead just below her eyebrow, and she pulled back, and the next blow or blows and hit her arm.
Mr. Delaportis declined to be interviewed on camera, but he did say, quote, "The allegation is absolutely, positively not true. The civil suit is scheduled to get underway tomorrow morning before Judge Joe Cannon." Regardless of the outcome tomorrow, this alleged scuffle will not be forgotten with the end of the civil suit. A September 13th trial date has been set for Mr. Dela Portes on a municipal misdemeanor charge of assault and battery. At the City County Health Department, Kurt Autry, News 4.
I do have a motion and a second for this.
To say we're going to go right ahead.
You come forward.
Well, they just decided not to continue.
It's not merely a zoning matter. It's a matter of water for central Oklahoma. It's a matter of credibility. It's a matter of integrity for the development of this region, of this state for the future. We're talking about a project that will be here 100 years from now, perhaps serving water to our children's children's children.
When the leaders of the American agriculture movement of Oklahoma met in El Reno today, it was not unusual that the main topic of conversation was the economic problems on the farm. The men sitting around the table are worried about losing their own farms. They know many others are too. And they don't think enough non-farmers know how serious the problems are.
In spite of the fact that we've been trying to tell them this for 8 years, well, they're suddenly realizing they must be really a problem out there.
But the farmers think there is some hope. First, they think a compromise farm bill in Congress may help keep some farmers from going under. And second, they think the Farm Aid Concert may direct America's attention to the crisis on the farm.
For the people of this nation, the people that eat our food, the persons that need it have to have it. They haven't realized that yet, really. It's got to bring forth to them the question, the proposition that maybe, by golly, maybe there is something out here we need to look at. And I'm just so thankful that they are doing it.
These men believe that agriculture is America's most important industry, and that if the situation gets much worse for farmers, it will have serious effects on many other segments of the economy. Jeff Fowler, News 4, El Reno.
There she is, Miss America. There she is, your ideal.
After just 3 days on the job, Dr. Frank Horton still faces unpacking volumes of files and notes. OU's 11th president arrived last week from the University of Wisconsin's Milwaukee campus. Besides putting his own office in order, Horton must also meet with much of the university's staff. He says getting to know his colleagues has filled his first few days as president.
Yeah, but it's an exciting time. The learning curve is steeply pitched, and it's an opportunity to just meet a lot of new people.
Horton wouldn't give any specific agenda of goals for his tenure as president. He says it's too early for that. But whatever the future goal, he claims he'll depend on fellow administrators.
It's important for me to continue to interact with people on this campus and develop them in concert. I mean, I can sit here and say we're going to reach the moon in 1992, and I may get halfway there and look over my shoulder and there's nobody behind me.
So as OU's new president settles in, he faces not only this deluge of paperwork, but the possibility of a change in direction for the university. So far, Dr. Frank Horton has not revealed where that direction might lead. Bob Donaldson, News 4, Norman.
Have a seat, young lady. They'll be leaving here in a moment. Okay.
Became a matter of policy. This is our policy, and we shall not retreat. We shall not admit that we were. I don't want to see our government simply brushing this issue aside and saying, well, we'll give these people something, and in order to eliminate or quieten down the MIA issue. I think that's one that's very important. I think that we owe it to the families of the missing in action that any remains they receive that we are certain that they are the remains of their loved one.
Once he forced his way inside the house, he tied her up, and then shortly after that he untied her and demanded that she cook him some breakfast, which she did. After she finished, he retied her. She had a seat at the kitchen table. He sat on a sofa in the dining room and told her that he would be leaving at 3 o'clock after he watched General Hospital on TV. She stated that after that he ate his breakfast, sat there, played with his gun and a red bandana that he had, and watched the soap operas all day long. At 3 o'clock, he got up and he left. She worked her way free from her bonds and then went to her father's office where she contacted police.
Robert Grady Johnson has been on Oklahoma's death row since a Lawton jury said he should die for the murders of 4 people inside the Geronimo, Oklahoma bank. Ironically, his death row neighbor is his former homosexual lover and roommate, J. Wesley Neal. Neither Johnson nor Neal spoke during their murder trial. Johnson broke his self-imposed silence by claiming his former boyfriend forced him to buy the gun and bullets used in the bank robbery.
I can say I was forced to do what I did. I mean, he didn't hold me at knife point or twist my arm, but it was, like I say, he was dominant over me.
Johnson claims Neal broke a promise he had made to tell the truth about the murders during their trial. The Lawton man says his former lover did not want to go to prison alone.
And he says, well, oh, I can't wait till we get to prison. We're going to be together. And that was his whole intention. And he's told me time and time again, Robbie, you're not guilty of this. You're only going to be up here until you get your new trial. Why can't you make my last days happy?
It usually takes about 5 years to carry out a death sentence. Johnson hopes he will get a new trial before his sentence is carried out. The convicted murderer says he's now ready to tell a jury his version of what happened during the Geronimo Bank massacre. Scott Wallace, News 4 on Oklahoma's death row.
But this is something similar we do to practice, and it'll give you a little bit of idea about the picking that we do. Okay, you got to bring it on.
Learning that life is not over following a tragic accident. It's a hard lesson, and one that each of the players here today has wrestled with and continue to do so. The Okie spokesman can only hope that their example will offer incentive to others who have gone through similar emotional and physical trauma and will soon be ready to get back on with their own lives.
I've been playing for 10 years.
Has been good for you?
Oh, excellent. It's the only way I can vent my frustrations out here on this court. I get out here and yell and carry on like a wild person.
There was no screaming from the sidelines this afternoon, but there was piqued interest. Most of the residents at O'Donohue have come through extensive medical treatments. Their bodies are stable. Now the tough part begins, getting back out there in a world where you're no longer like you used to be.
If you have a weak mind, then it's hard. But if your mind is strong, it's not too hard to get over it, you know. I got a pretty strong mind.
The Okie spokesmen are looking for strong minds and any bodies to play basketball every Monday night. They found a few recruits this afternoon. Terry Cook, News 4.
Has been contacted. But beyond that, no, not a lot. Special event that will help to raise funds here in Oklahoma City. But the relief effort that we were trying to set up is one of recognizing, first of all, people want to respond. They want to do something. And probably the most helpful thing they can do, and the easiest thing at this point, is to write a check and to send it. This money then will be sent to the bank in Mexico City that will then turn this money over to private relief agencies.
Okay, a pun is a play on words in which this may have more than one meaning.
From college. No, that is an admission requirement.
Those students who do apply themselves and adequately prepare themselves in terms of the English, the math, the science, the social studies, that they score at or above the national average, both on the SAT and the ACT test. So the indication is that we in Oklahoma are doing a very good job of preparing our students for college.
Affection for Ed and Thelma we all jointly share because we know that for Oklahoma they deeply care. Many good works are quietly done by these two without any fanfare or thought of credit due.
Works like a jackhammer, only it's a real heavy-duty unit to break up streets and. What's this? Most of the items are used in construction work and demolition work, stuff they need to remove concrete floors and other concrete pillars and parts of the hotels and buildings that collapsed. Most of it is something that only a construction company might have laying around that they don't need.
No, I don't even know what's going down. You don't know what the hearing's about today? Just an evidentiary hearing, that's all I know.